Hey, hey. I wanted to share a recent health condition that I found out about. Well, there I am. Yes. Wonderful. Okay. So I am coming in here to share because it's kind of been a big deal. So I was perusing the internet and finally came into knowledge about a condition that I had no awareness about. This condition has been around since the 1940s. It was diagnosed or identified in the 1940s at Mayo, but it is not taught in medical school. So many people, many doctors have no idea about this condition. It's called lipedema or sometimes lipedema or lipodema, and it is a fat disorder. And what's interesting about this is that it has a very certain kind of signature. So it's like a smaller upper body and a bigger lower body, kind of significant, like two sizes that are usually at least two sizes off. So it can affect, it's a symmetrical disease. So it affects both legs and it affects the arms. So in some cases, the upper arms. Okay. And why I want to share this journey with you so far, because it's still fairly recent. I didn't find out about this until very recent, which to me is very interesting because I have been dealing with this since I was probably 9 or 10. And the challenges around it is what led me down this path of learning about holistic health, becoming a health coach, becoming a homeopath, a yoga teacher, like everything was in the hopes of healing my body. And so why I want to share this with you is I have a different perspective than many people that I am watching in these lipedema groups. So I joined a bunch of groups trying to find out some information. And so it's less about what this particular condition is, but more about how I'm dealing with it and what I want to share with you about it. So this condition is basically a big minefield, right? You know, I love my expletives. So think about that. And it makes you feel crazy because your body is doing something and you're doing another thing. You're following all the things that doctors tell you to do. You might be exercising, you're eating right, and your body is just responding very differently. What they do know is it's probably hormonal. Usually it's triggered at puberty or triggered after pregnancy or triggered after menopause. And mine was definitely triggered after uh, puberty. So what happened was my body started to change drastically, really quickly. And I have certain things that I've just learned to deal with my whole life, but things never felt right in my body. And I would talk to practitioners and try to explain to them, like, it doesn't feel right. Like, I don't feel right. It's like I have this upper body, this lower body. They're like different, like trying to explain all of that. The only person who I ever got to kind of understand me were homeopaths. And that's why I became a homeopath, because I have had such great healing. Now, let's talk about the fact that I didn't find out about this until my 40s. So I've been dealing with this for in the 30s, like 30 years. And this whole time I've been looking to heal myself. Well, what I think is super funny is that I finally found out about this disease. And as I look through these groups, comb through these groups, these women, because it primarily affects women, have so much self-hate for their body. They hate this condition. They hate that it's happened to them. They hate on their bodies and they hate what they have to deal with. And I get it. It has not been a picnic always. And what I think is really interesting is that here's how I'm choosing to look at it. The universe didn't let me find out about it until now. Because at this point in my life, I finally learned how to love myself. I love myself. I love my body. yeah, there are still things that I want to make sure that I'm continually working on and healing and seeing if I can get further with it. But at the same time, I've come to peace around who I am and what I look like. And this is a very visual disease. And there is a lot, again, of certain expectations that we have. You know, you go on a certain diet, you do a certain thing, you're supposed to end a certain way. You know, it's really difficult, right, to deal with the barrage of looking at our cultural standards, even trying to find clothes. Like, traumatizing experiences for me are very different than traumatizing experience for others. I very clearly remember trying to go downhill skiing with a work group. And I told them, I don't think this is a good idea. I don't think anything's going to fit. And they're like, oh my God, of course it's going to fit. And I couldn't find any pairs of boots to fit around my ankles because my ankles are so big. And I could keep going up in size, but they still wouldn't fit. They were hurting. It was painful. So I think I got to like a size 11 and I wear like a 7.5, 8. And I was like, this isn't going to work. And it caused me so much distress because I couldn't go and just do a regular activity, right? It was like, this just sucks. Like, even trying to buy snow pants this last year didn't work out. I tried. But the thing is that I still feel so good in my body. I still feel so much better about who I am. I can look in the mirror and just love on myself, even though I'm still dealing with this situation, right? And it's not taking me out, taking me down, but I did have to interact with it. I mean, I'm still interacting with it. It's even fresh in my mind because I got compression garments that are reminding me about it. And so, what I want you to think about in your healing journey is maybe you haven't found out something yet, but maybe it's for your highest good, right? Like, I laughed at the universe. The universe finally let me know this is the thing that you have. And ultimately, at this point, they haven't done a ton of research on it. It only affects women, men are not involved. So they have some research, but not a ton. So the biggest thing you can do is try to remove this abnormal fat that you can never lose. Like, you just can't lose it in any natural way, supposedly, right? And so because of that, because they haven't done the research, maybe there really is a way, but because of that, the only way to get rid of the pain that it causes and like, eventually some people become immobile, they can't move. So they get rid of it by doing a form of liposuction, a water assisted liposuction, or others. I'm not an expert in this. So everybody's just wanting to correct the thing. And if I had learned about this when I was younger, if I had learned about this in my teens or in my 20s, like, I would be for sure like, let's just fix me, take it away, fix me. And I don't know that I would have ever been able to get to the place where I've done the deeper work to learn how to love myself as I am, regardless of what I'm dealing with. Right. So it's funny, as you're going through the journey of your health and wellness, of your spiritual journey, it's something that you want to be checking in with, because your evolution, it can be subtle. It can also be super intense. But when you see something happen, if you can come to terms with, okay, this is what I'm dealing with, and here's how I'm going to choose to look at it, and I'm going to take one step at a time. You know, like, for me, changing my body has never been an option, like a manual change, assisted by some sort of surgeon or something. It's never been like something I wanted. I mean, maybe that will change. Like I told you, this is a thing that people can become immobile, but I feel really good. I feel really healthy. And I also have learned to say never say never. But if we were to go back in time and I learned about this, I might have gotten stuck on, this is this cross I have to bear. This is this terrible thing. I'm never going to get better. I'm never going to like my body. I'm going to always hate it. It's going to suck. It hurts. It's, feels gross. It's, there's all these things. And so I guess I want you to open yourselves up to what little subtle shifts have happened within you that are keeping you motivated on learning to love yourself, learning to accept yourself, and learning to heal deeply. Because I never would have healed this deeply at this point if I had just considered the cosmetic or outer appearance factor, right? As I've healed within myself, as I've learned to love myself as I am for who I am, and I do more and more every day, I feel so good in my skin. I feel good in my body. My pain, my discomfort, like so much is so lessened. I deal with so little of it comparatively to how much I used to suffer every single day, suffer every single day. And so, if it could help you to remind yourself, like, what a gift you are, how wonderful you are, who you are, if it can help you to remember that as you're dealing with whatever you're dealing with, whatever life is throwing your way, whether it's some sort of a condition, whether it's a relationship, whether it's something going on with work and career or family, whatever, if you can come back to, okay, I'm doing the best I can. I love and accept myself. I made some mistakes, but I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep trying to be patient and kind and compassionate and loving, like whatever it is, you are going to find that the journey becomes easier, because the fact of the matter is it's a journey and it's hopefully a long one. And as you are moving along it, you're going to have some incredible things take place, but you have to slow down and you have to take it all in and sometimes get out of your head about it, right? Okay, I have this thing that's happening to me, right? Maybe it's a health condition. Maybe it's something else. Whatever it is, if we look at it a certain way, we're always going to find the despair, the anguish, and we can choose to suffer because people understand. People understand how much it sucks to have to deal with something that's really annoying, really frightening, really scary. People get that and they can commiserate with you. But choosing instead to find the good, choosing instead to find the peace, to find the excitement, to find the joy, like that is the part that can feel so difficult, so hard. And I just want to encourage you to remind yourself to look for subtle shifts, to look for the good, to look for the positives, not to diminish and like say, okay, your pain and your suffering doesn't count. That's not what I want you to think either. I just want you to try to find a way to see the full picture, because sometimes we think so like black and white, and we live in a gray world, right? Like there's so many things going on, so many perspectives, so many ways you can look at something. And sometimes we can't, because that's not where we're at. As a homeopath, we call that a certain state. You see things a certain way because that's who you are. But if you can open yourself to finding a new perspective and getting what you can from that perspective shift, maybe you will find deeper healing. Maybe you can honor something that you couldn't before. Maybe you'll turn over a stone that suddenly makes everything make sense, right? So I wanted to encourage you to really double down on loving yourself just as you are, regardless of what challenges you're dealing with, because challenges, they can be so tough. But if you can learn to allow yourself to look in the mirror and see yourself clearly and provide yourself with love, compassion, and acceptance just as you are, other things are going to start falling into place. So I'm just thinking about you, sending you guys love, hoping that whatever difficulties you're dealing with now, whatever hard, sticky spots you're endeavoring in, I'm sending you love and hoping that you can find some light in the darkness. You can use breath work. You can do some yoga, meditation, journaling. You can pray, right? Don't forget that you have some really quick and easy tools available to you. You just have to use them, and they will help lead you back to yourself. They will help guide you. They will bring more calm, more peace. They will help settle your soul. But so much of the time, we rally against just finding that and not giving ourselves the time and space to do those things, thinking that we don't have the time. So I want to encourage you 1, 2, 3 minutes, little bursts, breath work, journaling, reminding yourself that you are awesome, reminding yourself of all the things that you've accomplished, whatever it is, simple. Start with the simple, build from there, create a firm foundation. When things start to get crazy, go back to your basics. And just remember that when things that are really tough come up, just see what you can get from them. At first, might be a hell of a lot of anger, frustration, impatience, but keep looking, keep allowing, keep asking for what you're not seeing yet, and allow there to be something beautiful available to you. Allow yourself to have hope and possibility, because without those things, life just gets too tough. All right. Thanks for checking in. I hope you've had a great day. Sending you guys so much love. Have a great weekend.